How's it going, everyone? My name is Matt, and welcome to the Irrelevant Podcast, where two irrelevant hosts talk about relevant topics.
Pretty much.
We're new to this, so bear with us. There might be some fumbles and a little bit of slow moments, but we're here, man. It's been a long time coming. I feel like we've been setting this up for weeks. We've been talking about it for weeks on our streams, and finally here.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm JC. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is going to be a very rough first episode because we don't know exactly how to do this. We've been on camera a bunch. We've done a lot of content creation ourselves. But I'm going to be honest, when you set two mics down in front of each other and an iPad and then all this sort of stuff, and you have a camera filming you and you know you're in like a set, I'm not used to this. I'm going to be honest. I'm not used to this.
Yeah,
but
it's a bit different. Yeah. We're shooting this on a Red, actually.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit more intimidating, I'm going to be honest. It just feels like we have to perform now.
Apparently there's like 4 or 5 record buttons on it. I just figured out very fast, but
yeah. So hopefully it looks good for you guys. Hopefully it sounds good. Speaking of which,
yes,
we actually have this podcast sponsored by Elgato. We're using the Wave 3 microphones right now, so hopefully it sounds really good.
They're relatively new. They came out this year,
yeah,
right?
They came out like a couple months ago. So they're actually really hard to get right now. But I was playing with them the other day while I was setting up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I heard that you can basically scream into it. So if you're in like a moment in a game where something goes wild, it basically is like anti-peaking.
Yeah.
So I tried it. I was like this and screamed into the microphone. And I was shocked. It doesn't peak at all. It doesn't peak at all. Like it just knows.
It's really good.
It's
Elgato is hit out of the park again, pretty much. I don't know if you guys know, but Elgato is pretty much like the leading, basically the leading software and recording stuff for content creators.
Yeah.
I mean, just all sorts of things in here. We're using the key lights for this set. We're using the mics, obviously. And I mean, I use pretty much everything Elgato to even make all my content typically.
Same.
So huge shout out to Elgato for sponsoring the podcast with these mics.
The capture cards, the key lights, like you said, the microphone. I mean, it's top to bottom. As your creator at home, like you can't go wrong with Elgato. So if you guys want to check them out, links down below. Shouts to them for sending out these mics and the key lights to make this all come together.
Yeah.
So
let's get the show on the road.
Let's do this thing. We basically had a really hard time figuring out what topics to start with.
Yeah, we thought about what we should do. You know, when you want to have a podcast, you're probably wondering what the hell this podcast is to begin with.
Yes.
We're just calling it irrelevant because that's who we are at this point. Let's be real. That's who we are. But we decided for this episode, it's probably going to be a little bit more Q&A heavy than normal from you guys, just because we just kind of need some ideas on what to talk about before we get more into it. I feel like once we get to like episode 2 and 3 and a little bit further along, we'll get better at what topics we want to actually bring to the table. We might actually have something we really, really want to talk about. Yeah. Like hardcore this week, something's trending. We want to talk about it. We really want to talk about things that are, like we said, relevant. We're irrelevant, but we want to talk about relevant things that are going on in all aspects. It doesn't matter what. Yeah. It could be something that's going on in the world. It could be something that's going on in gaming. It could be something that's going on literally across the street. It's basically whatever we want to talk about at the time and bring to the table. And again, the Q&A section, we want to have a Q&A section in every one of these episodes. Definitely. So be sure to tweet us your questions on Twitter, at JCbackfire over here, at MC Sports Talk over here, or leave them in the comments below, down below on this podcast episode, or just really anywhere. Like we're gonna see everything.
Just send them wherever you can.
We're irrelevant. We don't really have that many mentions.
Just find us and send them away.
But so typically the Q&A section will be something that's more towards the end. But for this episode,
we're going to do it right off the bat. This is going to be the whole episode, more or less. I also should mention that we're going to try to bring on some really interesting guests. Yeah. It's a bit tough right now with the whole pandemic situation going on. It's hard to get people in person.
Yeah, Matt's pretty much the only person I hang out with because I feel safe with Matt. I don't really have any other friends here. But
it's nothing to do with the pandemic. I just have no other friends, actually.
More friends at all. But yeah, so we definitely want to have guests at some point. Maybe we could figure out a way to do it in this COVID world right now, and maybe with a, who knows, maybe with a digital guest or something.
We'll do some virtual guests. So, I mean, if you have any ideas on who you think we should have on, we definitely have some ideas. I think there's going to be some really cool people that you guys may know, people that you definitely don't know. I'd like to try to get people that we, are in music or are in different areas that we have no like real experience in.
So
and
we could actually learn about it. Yeah.
I think that's going to be the cool part of this podcast is really getting a variety of guests on that can teach us, and maybe you guys as well, something new about an area that you may not know about, but you have interest in. Like, I feel like everyone listens to music.
Yeah.
They can probably guess maybe who we're talking about at this point.
There's some ideas. There's some ideas there.
You'll see. We got some people we can bring on. So that's going to happen as well. But like you said, Q&A questions every week. I think that's going to be great. You guys can ask some relevant topics, and we'll give our input on it pretty much from people that are somewhat irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, we're really we're not cutting it lately.
Just two dudes at a table. That's really what it is.
It's actually pretty cool we put this together somehow.
Hey man,
Matt did a really good job.
I'm happy with it. It's looking pretty cool, I think.
All right.
Do you want to hop in?
Yeah, let's go ahead and hop in.
All right, let's do it.
So we have a question from the very beginning, the first question ever on this podcast, from Nargio saying, "What inspired you guys to do this podcast?" And I feel like this is a good starting place to really get the show on the road because, let's face it, what are we doing, Matt? What is the point of this?
Last night we're out getting drinks, right?
Yeah.
And JC said, it was like we were playing Piccolo, and he said, "What is your weakness?" That was the question. And it came around to me.
Piccolo is a mobile app game that you play when you...
So he gave the weakness for all the people we were playing with. Then he comes to me and he says, "Your weakness is you have too many ideas."
It's very true.
And it is true.
No offense.
It is very true. And this is one of the many ideas.
Yeah.
I basically, for me personally, I mean, the last podcast I did was Zombros, which was kind of a long time ago I left that. I've always wanted to do a podcast. I've always wanted a place where I can vent and talk about things that are happening, and like more or less it's just two friends hanging out talking, but we're doing it in a more formal way, and something that we can talk about pretty much anything.
Yeah, we had a realization, especially when I moved here recently, about like we just had a lot of moments where we just talked really heavily about something, like super passionately about something, or we just had to get something off our chest a bunch, and it just sort of hit us. Why aren't we like this? Could be a podcast. Like the stuff that we're talking about could be a podcast, and I think for you you have that itch of just, I gotta get it out. That's what you told me. Dude. Like, I gotta get something out. I gotta talk on a podcast. I want to make it happen. So honestly, the biggest thing for this podcast is this is just a place to chill for us. Yeah. We want to chill out. We want to just talk as friends and just get things off our chest, things that we're thinking about that we otherwise wouldn't talk about on stream or on video. Sometimes you have, like when you're streaming or something, you're on the subject at hand.
Right.
You don't get sidetracked a ton. You're kind of doing what you're doing. But in this, we can get sidetracked.
We can go down those rabbit holes, go on tangents. I also feel like for me at least, when you're streaming, you have to focus on the game. Yeah. I am so bad at talking and focusing on something else. Whenever I'm doing, I have to be fully in that, or I'm terrible at multitasking. Yeah. Awful. Just absolutely terrible.
You're a streamer.
There's a reason I suck on stream. Okay, it's a fact. I'm really bad at playing or doing things. Well, I'm irrelevant. Okay,
that might be the reason.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I'm just irrelevant. It doesn't even matter. Anyway, I agree. I think it's going to be really good to just have conversations about things that are happening and give our 2 cents on them.
Yeah, that wraps up that one. I think pretty nicely.
The next one here.
The next one is from one of our boys, Pizza, aka Ben. I'll let you take this one.
He says, "Would love to know the first video games you guys both played and what your first video you ever recorded was, even if it wasn't on YouTube." He said his is Super Mario World on an SNES, and his first video he recorded was his own version of Jackass where he jumped on his garage roof.
Can you imagine him doing that, first of all? It sounds amazing. I want to find that.
I can't imagine him do. If it exists, we need to see it.
Yeah, we need to just play that right now if that exists. I don't know.
I can't imagine Ben today. Like maybe when he's a little kid, it makes more sense. But him right now, the sight of him doing that would be ridiculous.
All right, first video game you both played though, and first video ever recorded. You want to go video game first?
Yeah, my first video game was James Bond Nightfire.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 007 on the GameCube. I believe it was a blue cartridge. Oh. And it was dude, I played the crap
I
out of that
played
game.
the multiplayer too. Do you remember the Sentinel rocket launcher?
Dude, the Sentinel, the heat-seeking one, where you could literally go
Yeah,
on a
yeah.
rocket and like
Oh
it was
my
so
God.
unrealistic, but it was such a great game. We would play 2v2 capture the flag.
Dude, yes.
Me and my homies every week. Like we'd come home from school and just play hours.
I'm so glad you mentioned that game because that was kind of like the first, I want to say, shooter game that I played was James Bond.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I grew up on a little bit was like before I got into like Halo and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and Call of Duty, I played Nightfire. Nightfire was the first James Bond game I
OG.
played. It is amazing, dude. The
Great
music, the last mission in the campaign. Do you remember what it's called? Equinox, bro.
Equinox.
Do you remember? You
I
cannot
remember.
forget it. It's the
Phoenix,
space station.
Dude,
Oh my
I
God.
played Odd Job every time, but the hat, you could throw the hat
Yeah.
across the map and it would sometimes kill them. It
You
was
could grapple
absurd.
across the map, too.
You could grapple. Oh man, we knew that game like it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
That's-
I'm glad you know.
That's a great one,
Because
actually.
if you know, oh my god, it's such a great game.
Dude, I'd be
Such a
so
great
down to
game.
play that again at some point, to be honest with you.
So what was yours?
First video game for me, first video game that I remember, this is going to be no shock at all, but Sonic Adventure on the Sega Dreamcast, everyone.
Bro.
The Sega Dreamcast, literally the greatest console ever. I never owned Nintendo consoles until, well, I did have a GameCube at one point, but I wasn't like super into the GameCube. I don't know, it's just me. I grew up with Sega. I grew up with the Dreamcast.
That's before I was wrong. I didn't play a game. It was N64. That
Are
I
you
played
sure?
personally. For me, it was. Yeah.
For Nightfire?
Yeah.
I thought I played Nightfire on PS2.
See, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
No, I played this like the OG Nightfire. Like the cartridge, it was a blue cartridge. I'm
Maybe-
pretty sure.
maybe it
and you
was-
put it into the 64.
But I thought
And sometimes
Nightfire,
you had
was,
to blow
I
on
thought
it when it
Nightfire
didn't
was
work.
like a newer one.
No, they have it for the.
Are you talking about GoldenEye?
No, dude, I'm telling you, it's Nightfire.
What?
Unless it was on GameCube. You know what? You might
It
be
might
right.
be GameCube.
GameCube had Nightfire.
Because
It was some other version of 007 on the N64. That's right.
But you
You're
remember
right,
Nightfire
you're right.
the most out of all of them.
Oh yeah, we played the
Yeah.
crap out of Nightfire.
Yeah, for me it's
Sonic.
Sonic. Dude, Sonic.
So fitting.
Sonic Adventure. I remember, so there's these levels. This is a weird tangent, but just to show you how young I was, I remember, I think I was like 4 years old or something. I think Sonic Adventure came out in
4?
like 2000, 2001.
Okay.
Something in there. And I will never forget because when he plays Knuckles, you know Knuckles is,
Yeah, I
right?
know
Please.
Knuckles.
Okay. Thank
It's
you.
just funny to hear you talk about Sonic at such a 4 years old.
No, but listen. So when you play as Knuckles, you have to hunt for the Master Emerald pieces, and there's like a little radar, and it goes bing, bing, bing. So it's like hot or cold.
Okay.
You have to find the emerald pieces, right?
Okay.
And there's these little TVs in the environment that give you hints to where they are if you can't find them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it might be under a rock or something, right? Or it might be behind this enemy or inside the enemy when you kill it or something. And I remember being so young, I physically remember this, that I would click the TVs for clues, but I couldn't read them.
Because you didn't.
I didn't know how to read well. So my sister had to come into the room. I'd be like, shout out to Abby, but I'd be like, Abby, please, I can't read. I don't know if I can even talk well at 4 years old. I have no idea.
I was gonna say you're playing these games at 4.
4 or 5 years old, I couldn't read super well, and it would have this huge hint about some space thing or something, and I'm like, I can't read this.
Dang.
I can't read.
I can't read.
But that's how young I was. So that's definitely the first one, Sonic Adventure. There you go.
All right. First videos.
First videos.
Oh man, I don't know if the first one was. I know there. This is gonna be bad for me because now I'm gonna get questions about this. My buddies and I recorded a spoof of California Girls.
Oh God.
We dressed up as girls and like did a whole spoof to the song.
Why? I have
Dude,
so many questions.
You should have so many
that-
questions.
does that still
Listen,
exist?
that's just I don't know. I could just having fun as kids. Like we just recorded stupid things. It was a hilarious video. It does still exist. I will never release it. My aunt every time we have a family like get together, almost every time, she'll bring it up because it's like ridiculous.
That's
It's an
so
absurd
funny.
video. But we were young. We were like, I don't know, maybe 12-ish, something like that. I was 12. My brother and his friends were younger, but
Yeah, that seems about right. That's wild.
everyone's got a story like
how
that. You can't
far-
even tell me that you don't have a story like that.
1,000 videos
Maybe
later.
not exactly like that. Yeah, no, more than that, dude. I still don't know how I've made 2,000 videos on
That's insane.
insane.
I've made like around 1,000, but not 2K.
I made
2K is
2,000
nuts.
and I haven't posted for like a year and a half.
That's nuts. That's absolutely wild.
That's absurd. Anyway, what was your first video?
First video for me. Well, there's two things that I remember. I remember recording a video with my IRL friends, like my buddy DC and them. I remember recording an airsoft movie.
Oh, perfect.
Because that was just the thing. We had airsoft guns that looked pretty real, to be honest. It looked like a M4, M16. And I'm pretty sure we had like some wild like sights on it that looked super real. But we like turned the battery on and everything on them, but didn't have any airsoft.
Right.
Pellets.
You just pretended to shoot them.
Yeah, we just pretended in the video that we're going to be fighting each other. And the whole video was like infiltrating DC's home and killing him. And it was like 4 of us and we all died one by one. And he kills us all. It's like Home Alone. It was like Home Alone with like airsoft guns.
Nice.
So that was the first one. And if not that, gaming wise, I remember playing Call of Duty 4 and being super, super entranced in this guy who made these videos, skit videos on Call of Duty 4.
What's his name?
I
don't remember.
I cannot remember his name. I don't even know if I want to even attempt it because I don't know if I want anybody to find these videos that I'm in somewhere. But I remember, like you go on a multiplayer map, like the buses on Call of Duty 4 or something. Yeah. We just get in the bus and just like sing like.
You like pretend like you're like role playing.
We're not role. That sounds really weird now.
You know what I mean now.
No, we weren't acting like kids on a bus, but we were like the wheels on the bus go round and round. We would just like joke around and like something would explode. That sounds really dark now.
I don't know what you're trying to say right now.
We were just like all on a bus.
Okay.
And we would just
in the game.
We would just act like we were kind of like just joking around and things would happen and there was no structure at all. It was just this guy had a Dazzle capture card. It was a Dazzle capture card. It was before the Elgato wave. Shout out to Elgato once again. But before the Elgato wave, I remember having a Dazzle capture card because of that guy. I was like, that's so cool. He recorded the game? Yeah. That's insane. That was like 2007 or 8. That's a long time ago.
Man, this is just bringing back
memories.
That's
13 or 14 years ago.
Yeah.
But that was the first thing I remember being a part of that really made me want to make videos and stuff.
You were like starring in his feature film, even though you were in a video game.
I was a squeaker.
100% squeaker. A hard car squeaker.
Yeah, I had to be a squeaker.
Dude, I couldn't even afford a Elgato or HD PVR or Dazzle. I took my dad's VCR and recorded the screen.
Oh, we've all done that though too. I don't remember what I recorded.
You had to.
But I remember recording something like that too.
That was the beginning of the gaming scene.
Yeah, I think it was COD 4 and Halo 3 for me. Yeah. That got me into a lot of recording stuff.
Yeah. It's funny you say the airsoft thing because I have a video that's just like
the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Why is that like a thing?
It's paintball guns, which is the same thing either way.
That hurts worse.
Though. Oh, we didn't shoot them for real. The whole it was so stupid. It was like this guy just stole our DiGiorno pizza and Capri Sun juice pack, so we had to go get them.
That's pretty good.
We had like the sound effects and everything. That was terrible. It's still up. If you want to watch that one, that's still there. Is
it on your channel?
Yeah, it's still on my channel.
That's nuts.
Call of Duty spoof. It's terrible.
Oh no!
Listen, you have to leave some of these things up because you have to know where you started.
That's very true.
You have to know.
That's very true.
It's embarrassing, but all right. Great question from Pizza. Let's move on.
Okay, I guess like while we're on the topic of video stuff.
Yeah.
We have this other question from Valveless Straw. What a name. You want to take this one, I guess, as well?
Yeah, sure. Hearing your thoughts on film and the filmmaking process would be interesting to say the least.
So this is a question, I guess, about how we feel about just filmmaking in general. And
I guess so.
And like the film process. We were talking a little bit before the podcast as well about the fact that I had a realization we both are film majors.
Yep.
Basically. Wait, what is your major? Do you can you say what your major is? Or what you graduated in?
I was a dual major in television, radio, and film was one of them.
Okay.
Which is obscure because we didn't learn a thing about radio. No one's learning about radio anymore. Yeah. And
even
the other
though
one
a
was
podcast is kind of radio.
Well, man, that's kind of ironic.
That's not good.
Certainly didn't learn how to podcast in college.
Yeah.
And then the other one was information technology. It was like managerial. It was like infotech. It wasn't like computer science, but it was more on the managerial side of IT.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you had a film major too. So
I was. I was media studies. I was visual media studies with a marketing minor. So I kind of went more marketing towards the end.
That's more like digital media esque.
But
Mine
but
was
it's
more.
But I still got forced into all the. Make sure the aperture is set right.
So did you learn like okay? I'm curious. Did you learn about like proper film technique and like shooting? Like, do you know how? Like, if I said, "Yo, turn the red on,"
not on that camera.
Not on that camera. Okay, so on another camera, if you wanted to shoot this scene, do you know how to get it to look exactly like you want and what's proper?
Mostly, like you'd have to.
So what would you shoot the scene at? What's your aperture? What's your
I
ISO?
I don't know that.
So he doesn't know. You don't.
I'm not. I don't have like a aperture or ISO that's like perfect for me that I can think of. But I mean, obviously, I would always turn my ISO really low.
Okay.
You know, you want that low. I knew like the base.
I know you want the ISO low, and that's all I know.
1,000 videos made, by the way. This
is exactly where I wanted this to go.
But that's the point. It's like you
I didn't learn that in school either.
But you do. I learned that, but like you don't learn like.
But did you?
It's different for every scenario though. Like if you're recording outside, the ISOs might be higher depending on what time of day, you know, or the aperture might be.
Are you sure?
At night, it's gonna be higher.
At the night, it's gonna be higher. Yeah.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
All right. Okay. Hey,
at night, it's gonna be higher.
These guys might be like, "What are you guys talking about?"
But aperture, you want the lens of the camera to, you know, it might take in too much light.
Right.
You know, during the day or something, so you might have to close it more.
Correct.
Don't know which direction that is though. I can't.
You don't know which. If it's a higher number,
I
or
would
low
just fiddle
number.
with it until I.
Yeah, fiddle until you see like, oh, look at that, looks better.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fair. But my whole entire point with this is not to grill you or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee most people have no idea what we're talking about when I talk about that stuff. I went to school for film too and didn't learn. I came out of school not knowing any of that. I learned everything I know doing YouTube, more or less.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with a lot of that too. I think, you know, granted, I'm used to. See, I think you definitely, you can take a camera now and go film something.
Yeah.
You know, in any kind of environment. You know, I'm still really, I don't have a ton of experience filming like
behind the camera.
You know, filming behind the camera. I'm always in front of the camera, right? That's sitting down typically. Right. But like in terms of even that though, I think it's very interesting. Because there's always so many different styles of what people like and what looks good. Like to me, I might like a really wide shot. You know, my streams are really wide. I
was gonna say your streams look great, so you definitely know how to get it to where you want.
But that's what I mean. Like, you know, we're talking about the filmmaking process, and like I feel like a lot of like the structure that you're given in school and stuff. There's a lot of like experimentation that comes with it too that you just don't get in school. Like you don't really get like, oh, you need to go film this and it needs to be on this setting and all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, I'm not going to remember. I might not need that for what I'm doing. I might need a super wide angle shot. I might need a super, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Basically what I'm saying is that you learn from doing it.
Yes.
And you don't learn from taking a test about it.
Yes. School teaches theory.
Yeah.
Doing it teaches like practicality, and you actually learn how to do it by doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest flaw of like. So I went to Syracuse.
No, we're like hammering home the flaw of school.
This is like something that I think people would. There's a lot of people that probably listening to this that are either in college or going to college or considering going to college. If I had to sum it up for you, what I learned in college wasn't the value. It was about the people I met in college. That's it.
Very true.
That's all I've taken out of college.
I would 100% agree that the best part about college for me, and I just graduated this year.
Yeah.
Was the networking.
Absolutely.
And getting some knowledge on, honestly, just the business side of like how do you approach people and how you approach companies and how you show your like getting your portfolio made and stuff. I learned a lot of that in college. Like you know, like how do you make a portfolio? How do you make a resume? Like that stuff was really important. But like when it comes down to like the nitty gritty details of how to record something, how to film something, I've learned it all on the side of college, not during it. So, I mean, granted, let me just preface this for a sec though. If you're going to school to be a doctor, granted, that's definitely a very different story. But in terms of like liberal arts, like we are, for the most part, I think your portfolio matters. What you do on the side matters more than your degree. 100%.
Absolutely.
Like if you have a degree but you've never made a video on the side, what are you doing?
That
No
sums
offense
it up.
to anybody, but like
That just sums it up. Like you you pay so much money to go to college, and in my case, I think would be considered a pretty top tier communications school in Newhouse, and it's just like I didn't come out of it being like, oh my god, I learned all this great stuff. I didn't, because I didn't get to do it. It was all theory. Like you compile it for a test, you take the test, nail the test, and then a week later I have like no clue. Like the stuff in there, I don't remember any of it.
And then that time you could have spent, like you spent studying for that, could have been you making a really cool project to show off on your portfolio instead.
I'm just happy I was able to do both, because
same.
God, I really don't know where I'd be if I didn't start doing YouTube.
Yeah.
Because that's the vehicle for me that taught me what I know now. Because I went out there and had to go and fail and learn, basically. Trial and error is the best way to learn. So
yeah, absolutely. I think for sure. Like the thing, I don't know. We went on a huge tangent about school with this one.
How do I feel about it? It's great. But the best way to learn how to do it, I would say, is to do it.
Yeah, it's the trial and error of doing it yourself and figuring out what works for you. I think the filmmaking process is different for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
I think like people have different styles. The greatest filmmakers have different
That's
styles
the beauty
to
of
their
it.
work.
It's like a fully creative process.
Yeah.
But learning the actual like techniques and the finding your style just takes trial and error. Really.
I'll say one thing just to instead of going down the whole school tangent about the filmmaking stuff that I think is really cool. One of my favorite things is like color theory.
Okay.
Like color theory, like I don't know if you've ever seen, like you've seen Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, like seriously, for anybody listening to this right now, like if you don't know what I'm talking about, search up Breaking Bad color, like color research or evaluation or something. The way they use color in that show is ridiculously, like it goes over your head, but it also subconsciously doesn't. It's like, oh, this person's wearing purple a lot because they're materialistic, and you don't even notice that when you're watching, but it's like, oh, that's why they made them wear purple. Like there's actually like a physical reason why, like when they're filming the show, they were like, I want these colors in the shot. I want these colors here on this person because I want that to encapsulate their character more. I love character work. Character work is what gets me fired up. But there's a lot of that in that show.
No, I agree.
Like someone might be wearing green and they're really envious or something.
You've done the research on this, huh?
Dude, I'm telling you, I didn't even think about this before the show today, but I'm telling you, Breaking Bad, I think it's one of the prime examples of TV. It's done it really, really well.
Yeah.
There's like I'm sure there's YouTube videos about it. Color theory on Breaking Bad.
Even beyond color theory, Breaking Bad's, from a film standpoint, is one of the greatest shows of all time for so many reasons. Yeah. I mean, just the shot compositions and like just the angles that they use.
How do you get the pizza on the roof right? How do you do that? How do you flip a pizza on the roof?
But the real reason I love that show is like a lot of those angles are so creative. They break the traditional, like, this is how it's supposed to be shot. They have like shots of inside the fridge. Yeah. To me, that's such a, like a small creator type shot. Yeah. Because it's so unique and you can just do that as a creator. Mm-hmm. But in film, it's kind of like pushing the boundary. Like it's breaking the tradition a little bit to do these unique shots like that, and it worked phenomenal in that show. So
Breaking Bad's a really good example. Like if you want to learn about filmmaking or
watch the show.
Yeah, just watch that show
and just think about and
script writing too. Like
dude, the whole show from top to bottom is phenomenal.
That's where I'm more into. I'm more into like character work and like script writing and stuff, more than the actual filming.
Filming, yeah. Dude, I want last thought on this topic. This is actually a great question. I didn't even realize.
It turned into a really good one. Thank you, Valpless. Thank you.
Do you have the problem of watching TV and film and getting so caught up in how'd they do that or how'd they shoot this and then you totally lose track of the story because you're so focused on how it happened?
Absolutely. I remember that is something I do remember in college where a lot of my professors would say you're never going to look at a TV show or movie the same way without going into this like mind mode of thinking about like how the heck did that happen or why is this shot a certain way or just shots back to back. My favorite thing also is Sorry, I'm just going on a huge tangent here.
No, it's great.
But again, we're getting used to how this works. But long shots or one takes? Was it long shots or one take?
Well, they're totally different thing. Long shot would be like a really close-up shot.
That's not what I mean then.
Like one take would be a continuous shot.
Yeah, one take. Oh, like just a shot that is really one take and it lasts for like 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
And you're like, how on earth did
choreography?
How did you maneuver the camera around?
Yeah.
How did you get everybody acting perfectly where somebody syncs up at the right time?
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite things in filmmaking and I honestly think that like if a movie or a show or just anything has a really I think The Witcher did this recently too. I think there was like an action scene or something that had like it was kind of like one take all the way through or something like that. I think. Did you see The Witcher?
I haven't.
I didn't see it all the way through yet. I need to.
I think I know what you're talking about. A lot of the James Bond movies, the openings.
John Wick has a little bit of that too.
Like usually like seemingly like a one take.
Yeah.
Of an action scene of someone being chased through whatever.
Yeah.
That's usually how they start. But yeah, no, those are incredible. And if you ever see the BTS of that stuff.
Oh my god.
Unreal. Like a lot of time they'll have a camera like on tracks and then they'll take the camera off into like a Ronin situation, like a dolly situation.
Yeah.
And they just keep going. Like it's perfectly choreographed, perfectly executed. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Film's amazing. We should
film's
probably
crazy.
keep going, but that was a great question. I didn't think it'd be that intense, but
yeah. I mean, we went down a long
the next one.
Okay, so Unstable Brody sent in, what made you guys get into YouTube/Twitch and want to start making videos? This kind of goes with the other one that we had before a little bit. What got us into YouTube and Twitch? I mean, we kind of talked about what got us into making videos, but what got us into YouTube specifically and Twitch specifically? I guess like I might go Twitch route on my answer.
Yeah.
I would say for Twitch, if you guys were watching this, you probably know me from YouTube and stuff. I spent years making content on games and all sorts of like really nerdy stuff, but Twitch. I really like Twitch a lot. Like it is something that I started recently in the last 2 years. It's basically like my home now, pretty much of all my content. I think of Twitch as like the main hub, and everything goes from Twitch
there.
now. But I don't know. Twitch for me, I just wanted a place that gets you. The interaction's everything for me. That's why we're doing this episode with these questions too. I was telling Matt, I'm like, dude, we gotta have the questions in this episode because. That's like the ABCs of my content, man.
You guys mean everything.
They
to
do,
us.
man. They do.
They do. No, they do.
They do. Like I
these
love.
These have been great questions.
They've been really good. They've been really good. If we had questions like this on each one, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I just interacting not with a massively large base, but like with a small like couple hundred people on Twitch. There's just something about that. Like obviously, yeah. Would I want more viewers? Absolutely, sure. But there's something about like. A couple hundred people watching you on Twitch and just having like a good conversation with them on whatever the heck you're playing, or just talking, just chatting over there too. And that just kind of made me want to get into that more because I was making videos forever and I was like, these are great, but they're also, it's not like that live environment at Twitch is really cool. I know this isn't live, but
right.
In terms of Twitch, that's why I like it so much. I like the live environment.
I mean, it's like having a conversation with people that you couldn't normally have a conversation with that are
right.
all over the world or different time zones or in different places in life. And
yeah. It's just fun.
It's great.
It's
absolutely.
Fun. And I like to sort of finish off mine, I guess. I just like making people smile too. Like dude, I know it's really cheesy, but literally some of my favorite things I've ever received from people are, yo man, like school sucked today. And I turn on your stream or your video or whatever, and oh my god, it just made my day so much happier. Like it got a laugh out of me, like just the jokes that you guys talked about. Like same thing with this podcast too. Like,
right.
Not to get super cheesy, but if you guys have had like a long day or something, I love the idea that you guys can just sit down, listen to a podcast, or while you're cooking food or something, and you can listen to this.
Driving, anything,
and just have a little break from the chaos that's going on.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what about you? Sorry, that was super.
No, that was a great answer. I totally agree with. I totally agree with that too. I mean, I've been streaming my Twitch for a little bit now, and I can also, I think the community there is just really, they really care about the fact that this is like kind of a, it's a job at the end of the day. Like this is your livelihood, so They're really cool about that. But for me to get into YouTube, I actually started my channel. I don't know what it's called. It's like this little, you draw these lines and then you release, it's like a penguin or something, and it goes, it like rides the lines. It's like Line Rider or something like that. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You draw something to ride
So
down
it's on the computer.
You make a track.
It's like this program. Yeah, you basically make like a track. You can draw whatever you want.
Okay.
And then it drops whatever character it is. I feel like it's a penguin for some reason. And the penguin just like it's just normal gravity. But if you draw like a ramp, like you draw like a down arrow, like a ramp to shoot it up, it'll go down and go off the ramp. And then you can like kind of catch it with like another line.
And this made you want to start YouTube?
That's where I started my channel. That was my channel. I don't have those videos anymore, but that was. I'm pretty sure it's called Line Riders. Someone out there has to back me up on this because I'm gonna sound crazy if no one knows what I'm talking about.
You just randomly started a channel off.
Dude, I was making these Line Rider because what would happen is you'd make them and then if you can keep the guy going for like a really long time. It was like so hard to do that.
Yeah.
Because you had to like redraw the line like but it hit this wall and like it didn't work.
Yeah.
You had to redraw the line a little bit perfectly just to get it to work. I love that. It was like such a creation to me. And I would watch other people have these like insane masterpieces. Like it'd be like a full picture and the thing would go through the whole picture. It was nuts. I'm sounding ludicrous right now. Maybe I'll throw up a little video of it or something. Line Rider, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. Anyway, that's where I started. Clearly that didn't go anywhere. But that's where I started my channel. And then I started playing a lot of Call of Duty. T. Martin was the first guy I found.
Wow.
Yeah, like way back when. He was making tutorials. I was playing the game a ton. I was like, yo, I could get a nuke. I could drop a nuke and show people how to get a nuke in Modern Warfare 2. And I did. And I posted a video about it. And
hey there, gamers.
There you go, man. My brother and they always rip on me. I called it zone camping. Like you camp the zone instead of just camping was like you're a loser if you camp.
That's true.
Still are.
So you have a vicinity where you camp. That's
so I
fine.
call it zone camping, which is basically you sit in one building as opposed to one spot.
It's just 5 more pixels to the right and 5 more pixels to the left.
You can move like a couple inches either way, but that is not as bad as actual camping.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, that's where I started.
Hey, it worked.
That just made me get into it. Yeah,
I guess it
figured
worked.
like if they're getting like I thought it was so cool to just be like on YouTube and have people watching your stuff and commenting on it.
Yeah.
That there were other people out there that were like, because I was watching T. Martin, so I knew what that was like to be a viewer, and I thought it was so cool. He was doing this crazy thing, making videos on something he loved to do, which was gaming.
Yeah.
So I just did that, and I'll never forget. I was in high school, and one day I come into school, and I had like 75 subscribers after a year of doing it, and I was like, 75 is insane.
That's a freaking gym.
That's so many people. I don't even know 75 people. In high school, I knew maybe like
Dude, I only
25,
know like
30 people decently well.
I know like 3 people here right now. Literally you,
Yeah.
Jess, my
and my brother.
And that's it. Your
girlfriend.
brother.
That's it. Like 75 people was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And all my friends were like, yo, like Matt's got 75 subscribers. You have to remember, this is 2009. So this is like 3 years after YouTube began. Like this is very new. Now you're all like 75. What a joke.
No, back in the day though, that was pretty.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
When I first started and when the platform was only 3 years old, like it looked way different than it does now.
So you started your channel in 2009?
Yeah, 2009.
Same.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Long time ago. Anyway, that was it. That was how I got into it, and it just kept going from there. And it was I just always felt so great doing it. It's because it combined 2 things I like: gaming and video, and that's always been a thing I've stuck with, and more so the video stuff now. But
yeah,
that
was a good answer. That's good.
It's a good time to be. It's always a good time to be a YouTuber.
This got really deep into like what
this is what I wanted, man. I am hype on this right now.
I feel like
this is great.
I feel like we didn't even explain like who we are. It's just
Not at
like
all.
we just made videos. I guess like imagine someone tuning into this for the first time.
They're like, who are these fools?
Who are these guys, dude?
We probably should have done better on that. We probably should have. You know what? It's still
fine.
good to know us. You keep watching.
I feel like the first episode is mostly going to be people though that have seen us before.
Probably. But if you're new here, we love you. Subscribe.
Yeah.
And you'll get to know us. Well, I mean, these stories are going to really get.
I think it's going to be fun when we talk about like actual like once we get past this beginning stage of okay, what are we into? What are we where we come from a little bit. and we go into, yo, this is happening this week. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty entertaining to see
Yeah.
like where this goes down the line.
Oh, there's gonna be some entertaining stuff for sure.
But I guess we should move on to the next one then. That was
Yep.
a good question though. Thank you for that one. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. This one is just a kind of like a small question, but really good. Kevin says, what are some habits that have helped you both be productive? So what is a habit that helps you be productive? What makes you productive? Like what little thing can you do during your day that makes your day a little bit more productive?
It's funny you say little thing because my answer
Is it working out?
what?
Is it working out?
Is it working out?
Like, is it working out? Like gym? Like working out?
No. Well, I haven't gone to the gym in.
But you know what I
like
mean?
a
Like,
long time.
like
No,
lifting
no.
weights.
Well, I mean, exercise is great, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
know
gonna
if
say
that helps
exercise
me
would
be
be
more
one.
productive. In fact, I would say it does the opposite because it takes
Really?
more time. Yeah, because if I'm not, let me tell you this: I haven't gone to the gym in like 6 months, which I hate, but I've gotten so much done in the last 6 months. Don't take that as a don't work out. This is going the wrong direction. I did not want it to go this way. Let me go back. For me, my tip would be, like you said, my weakness. I have so many ideas. Writing stuff down. The minute I think about doing it or talk about doing it, I have to write it down because there's just too many things going on. I'll forget.
Or talk about it on a podcast.
Or talk about it on a podcast. True, but all the things that I put together for this podcast were all on my to-do list at some point.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh, yo, a neon sign would be really cool. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this name would be really cool.
Writing down a list is
A list.
a
I
definitely
have,
good one.
At the end of the year, I'm going to tweet it out how many tasks I've accomplished this year on my to-do list. I'm at like probably near 2,000 right now.
That's
Which is
insane.
absurd. And they're not all big
my
things.
God.
That's the other part of this tip.
Yeah.
Even if it's a small thing, write it down. And when I go like the next day, I have like maybe 30 things on the to-do list.
Yeah.
Hit the easy ones first. If you can do it under 5 minutes, do it right now. That's like the biggest tip I'd say for anyone. If there's something you can do in under 5 minutes or even under 2 minutes usually, do it right now. Don't even wait. Just do it right now. You'd
Yeah.
be shocked at how much you get done. Like it's unbelievable how
Dude,
much
this
you get
is
done.
motivating. I love this.
I'm telling you, try it. If
So-
you haven't tried it, try it.
So Pat, so for those of you who don't know, we have a content creator friend, the Smith Plays. It does a lot of
Shout out
videos.
Pat.
Shout out to Pat. He's got like a couple million subs, you
Yeah.
know, just crazy. But Pat, I remember gave me the advice one time. He's like, go to the app store on your phone and find a checklist app.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you will never regret it. Just make a checklist that you do every day and you just get stuff done. So I think it's very interesting that both you and him say that, and
Yeah.
both you and him are like pretty damn close, I would say. So
yeah,
I think that's really interesting that
I
like
couldn't agree more.
content creators I've met, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So I need to be better with that because I don't do that as much as I
So
should.
what is your
I was gonna say something different. I love your answer. I think your answer is like spot on
Mm-hmm.
and something I definitely need to do more. And definitely good for the audience too. Like the audience is thinking about something like I would say that's the best answer here for sure. The thing I was gonna say, this is for me. This is kind of like I don't want to dive really down this discussion too much, but like kind of like if you're not feeling too great,
Mm-hmm.
like if you're feeling kind of like mopey or down in the dumps. I don't want to say depressed, but you know, also it
Off.
can
Yeah,
it
you're
can
just
help
feeling
with that
off.
too. But something I would say is like a lot of times when I know like okay, I gotta get something done today, or I am a little bit behind on
Mm-hmm.
productivity or something. For me, and this sounds so weird, but just cleaning up your area or cleaning up your like your desk. If you do stuff at your desk, we're working from home now, so a lot of people are working from home.
Yeah.
Cleaning up your desk, oh my God, do it. Like clean up your room. If you wake up and your room is clean and you walk to the living room and your living room is clean and you walk to your desk and it's all clean, I guarantee you will be more productive than if you have clothes laying everywhere,
Yeah.
or if you have pieces of paper everywhere, or if you have who knows, like food laying out or something.
Dude,
like if you just
100%.
make sure your like area, your workspace being clean, it sounds like such a like, it's like oh I could do my stuff even though I have like I don't know Chick-fil-A sitting here or something, right? But like no, like if you genuinely like clean up your area, it just makes you feel better, and I feel like you're on top of your game a little bit. That's like a little thing for me. That's my little thing.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm looking, you can't see this thankfully, but off camera, there's a cubby of just everything that I haven't cleaned up in this room yet from trying to put this together. But I absolutely agree.
But this is different.
100% agree. No, you're right. Because if it's a kind of like a visual representation of your mentality, right? If you have a clean space,
that's what I'm saying. It can help if you're
fresh and ready to go.
If you're feeling kind of like down in the dumps or something, it can help with that too.
Oh, it does.
It
and
almost
just getting up and doing something physical like that.
Oh yeah.
And like you're like, wow,
that's where exercise comes into play.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's a great.
That's
tip.
why exercise is good too, because it's like, you do some push-ups or something, and you
get yourself.
I'm not a muscular person at all, but if you do a little bit of exercise, lift some weights just for a second, you just feel a little bit better, and just having that little like confidence boost in your like how you're feeling when you clean or do something like that, it helps you so much.
That's a great one.
That's what
that's really good.
That's why I always say like, some people always say like, dude, how do I like get like it's so hard to get out of bed and stuff. Dude, get out of bed, like clean your area, like do something, and it's harder to get out of your bed like when your room is messy, because you got stuff to do.
This is going into
I know.
We'll have this conversation at some point.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Maybe not right now, but I agree 100% that it helps you productivity wise, and it just it's like from a mental, like a headspace.
Yeah, mental headspace is it's almost more important to me than like. It sounds weird, but like if you're in the right headspace, you can do things that you wouldn't even have dreamed of.
It's super important. But I think what you're saying, like having the visually a physical space that you're in, being clear and ready to go and fresh.
Yeah. Like I kind of
almost have to have that to have to be in a good spot. Otherwise you're gonna. Yeah. I'm looking at this and I'm like just getting slightly anxious. There's just so much stuff I have to be cleaning.
Man wants to run over here really fast. But look, focus your eyes on this, right? So like I'm thinking of this in my brain right now.
Right.
Like we have this as our podcast little desk, right? It's super clean. We have literally the Elgato mics they provided for us. One water for me. You don't even have a water on the desk.
Water. That's a good call.
And we have just one screen on the table. Super clean. It's easier for me to talk. If there was 3 books here, I'd feel a little anxious. I'd feel a little...
You want to read them? With Mountain.
Yeah. Also, that's another thing. We did an escape room.
I was just going to say, dude. I was just going to go there.
Yeah, we did... So we did an escape room last night during COVID, which was interesting.
Yeah.
We were all wearing masks while we were doing it. There's only 4 of us. And I don't know why this is a weird tangent, but dude, there was just these books in the escape room. And legitimately, I spent like 20 minutes of the time in the escape room trying to look like they gave us like a full-on encyclopedia of just BS. And it had nothing to do with anything. I was like, oh, there's definitely gonna be something on the page, to find a code or something, or there's gonna be something in this letter that coordinates to a page here. No, the book just didn't matter. So yeah, I'm really enticed to read a book. When I see a book that's like, oh, that's in my vicinity. Oh yeah, what is that? I want to see what that is.
Yeah.
So sorry, a little escape room tangent.
I think that's funny. I'm glad you brought it up because that's the first thing I thought of when you said a book on the table because he was just invested in these books. It was like an Einstein like relativity theory book.
Yeah, I was like, what is?
And he's like, all the numbers, like with the dates. What is it? What is it? How does it work? Gravity? How does it work?
When did he make that theory? What was the date?
It was completely useless.
Word of advice was
so relevant.
Word of advice with escape rooms though. If you do an escape room at any point, if you don't know what an escape room is, it's essentially like you're literally in a room and you got to figure out
how to escape.
It's kind of like an attraction thing that you do,
it's like a puzzle. It's like a physical puzzle.
It's like a puzzle room that you do. You get an hour at some place.
Yeah, and they're all different themes. Like the one last night was a Nikola Tesla theme.
Yeah, it was Tesla.
we did great. We got to the very last step and then we couldn't figure out how to open a lock. We had the right code and we couldn't open the lock.
Yeah.
We just it was a confusing lock, to be honest. It was very confusing.
But word of advice though, don't half the time when we think really hard about escape rooms, way too hard. I'm sitting there going, oh, they just name dropped Albert Einstein. Yo, what year did he do that theory? Or what year did he make that theory or something? half the time, it's never something you have to know beforehand. Yeah. It's just something you find that tells you the answer. But for some reason, I think, oh, what's that theory? Like, did he say something in that theory that I learned in school like 5 years ago? Just go with your first guess. Go with what's in front of you and those things. Anyways.
We definitely try-harded a little bit too much.
We did.
We were way past the level of brain activity we needed to be at.
It was bad.
But yeah, we got it. We did all right. We got to go again because skate rooms are great. I'm a huge fan.
I like how we did that last night instead of prepare for this.
Yeah, that's good. Let them know that we didn't prepare at all for this. We were doing some other brain stimulating activity, but not ready for the podcast.
I mean, I think we talked about it though. Like with this first episode, it's gonna be really hard to narrow down like what the style is. Yeah, it's gotta be.
Let us know if you like the style.
Yes.
Give us notes. Give us criticism. Constructive criticism is what I was trying to say. Yeah. We want to know. I mean, this is our first time. Let's feel it out and see how it goes. Do you want to go on the next question? Last one?
Yeah, last question. From you want to take this one?
Yeah, let's see here. We got I am Elo Vice. I didn't know about this. Definitely going to watch every episode. Thank you so much. Also, save this for the end of the first episode. We did. Where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years? That is a deep question.
Dude, how long has this episode been already?
Deep question. I don't know. Probably about what we said we're going to be. Right about an hour each.
Yeah, we're still under an hour, I think, right now.
Dang, 2 to 5 years. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go?
You should go first on this one.
All right, I'm going to start it off by saying this. 4 years ago, when I just moved out to LA, I wrote, I keep a journal. I've been keeping a journal this year. But 4 years ago, I did this. I saw this thing. I think it was Gary Vee. A 5-year plan, right? But I didn't actually write the 5-year plan. It was just write what you think you'll be doing in 5 years as descriptive as possible. So I did it. I wrote, it was, maybe like 1,000 words. It's like basically my relationship, my career, my just, where I'm at in life mentally, physically, if I achieved the goals I wanted to, how did school go, where's the family at? Like kind of just like an overall encompassing of where you're at in life. So I wrote it. I wrote it on April 21st. I don't know what the year is, but next year on April 21st is the 5-year mark.
Oh, you're going to reread it.
I'm going to read it in next year.
We got to do that one here.
We're going to do it on this podcast.
That would be so cool.
I haven't looked at it. Next year, April 21st, I'm going to read that writing and see how close I am to what I thought it would be. Oh, and I remember a couple things I had said, so we'll see. I mean, some of the things I think are on track. Some of them probably way off.
Oh my God.
But
you probably didn't expect to name a podcast Irrelevant.
No, definitely not. There's nothing about a podcast on there as far as I remember. But we're,
especially the term irrelevant.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, I was hoping I wouldn't be irrelevant at this point, but here we are. So, but anyway, the next 2 to 5 years. So when that one's done, I'm going to write for the next 5 years. Because I think it's a cool idea. I think it's really cool to see where you're going to be. I'll be over 30 at that point, which is horrifying.
Oh God!
But let's not go there. My birthday's next week.
Oh God, for you!
I'm turning old. I'm an old man, and here you are, like way taller than me, and I'm just looking like a little pipsqueak. But I'm 27 years old next week. 2 to 5 years. Where do I see myself? I'm gonna be positive on this.
We're gonna look back at this potentially.
This is basically what we're doing. What I just said. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'd like the company, Team Playback, which is, reason we have a lot of this production equipment. I'd like that to be doing super well. Hopefully that's, thriving. I'd like to have 10 or so people, maybe even 15 on the team at that point, doing all kinds of things like music videos. I'd love to do a show that we're going to try to get a show on Netflix at some point. That's a goal of ours, like a true Netflix show.
That would be insane. I want to see that happen.
Before I die, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. When I'm within 5 years would be phenomenal. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's not Netflix. Maybe it's Facebook, or maybe it's something else. Because that whole, we can get that another time too. But that, like, Netflix is becoming less traditional. It's becoming more like influenced by media. I would say like online media. It's going there. But so that, like, a Netflix show, the company doing well. I'd love to finally hit 1 million subs on YouTube.
That's a good one.
We'll see what happens. Maybe this podcast will still be going.
That'd be cool.
If we can be going within 2 to 5 years, we're doing something right, I imagine.
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know honestly where this is gonna go. It could.
don't know.
It could be a short thing. Could be a long thing. We don't know.
Could be. I imagine, and she's gonna watch this. I imagine within the next 5 years, I will be married to Jess.
I was gonna say that, dude.
I'm gonna say it here. I don't think I've ever said that out loud.
Dude, she's
gonna be like, okay, propose to me right now.
Damn.
I don't know about kids. Let's see here. I'll be 32 in 5 years.
Maybe.
Bro, 32?
Oh my God.
I'm old. What are you, 20?
23.
Bro, that's crazy. I don't know about the kids. Let's put that one on pause.
What year are you born?
1993. What are you, 97?
97.
Bro, that's so weird. Oh. All right.
That's so weird to me. Can I just have a moment really fast?
Yeah.
Think about the fact that like when you're in high school or something, or when you're in like middle school, you think of like the high schoolers, and you're like, dude, those guys are so much older. Like that's like me and you, but I don't feel that.
No. People forget that I'm like kind of older than you guys.
I know, but like even knowing your age, it doesn't like it's I find it interesting how that whole like social construct or whatever that is just kind of goes away once you're out of school. Like when you're in school, it's like, oh, this person's a 1 grade higher than you.
Yeah.
Yo, remember it's like, yo, if you date somebody, it's like,
that's like, you're cool.
dude, you're
a cool
whoa.
kid. If you date someone that's 1 year older than you, like, oh my God.
Like how'd you do that?
Like Bobby's getting with Jenny. She's in 8th grade.
It was like
we're 6th graders. Holy crap.
Or like, I don't know, like sophomore and junior or something in high school. It's like, yo, your girlfriend or boyfriend's a junior?
Dude,
Dude.
What?
It's like how?
Because you can separate.
How'd you even
separate
meet?
based on grade.
So how did you even meet?
I know.
How do you don't have the same classes?
Yeah.
But like for us, it's like what years difference? But I feel like
it's crazy.
I consider you one of my like awesome friends in my life. Like one of my better friends in my life. And
age becomes kind of a non-factor after college. And I'm so excited for this podcast because there's so many things I'm like, yo, we can go off on this.
No, seriously. Like I think about that though all the time. You're making me have a realization that a lot of the friends that I have, a lot of my best friends, like you, Noah, all these guys, are so much older than me.
Yeah.
Am I just like lucky? Like
I don't know.
Where's the other 23-year-olds in our friend group?
But it doesn't matter though.
I guess Lex
it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like Jack and Lex are significantly younger than me.
I guess Jack's like with me.
He's like your age.
Yeah.
Because you're Mike's age.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, but it's not like because I'm friends with a lot of guys that age. I'm friends with I'm Jose. You know Jose?
Yeah.
So Jose helped me with an esports event we put on, Zombies World Championship. That's kind of irrelevant. I gotta stop saying that. I'm sorry, it's just too easy. He's 40.
Oh my God.
He's
really?
40. You would never know. If I didn't
you wouldn't
say
know that.
But he's 40.
Dude,
and
I'm outed him.
I'm 20. He doesn't care. I'm 27. He's 13 years older than me, but we get along like I get along with you. Like huge age gap.
Yeah.
You know? So I think after you get out of college or out of school in general, the age kind of goes out the window. It's like, how do you get along? Like, how is your chemistry? How is your friendship? Do you like the same things? Are you on the same maturity level somewhat? I think that's all that matters. And the other thing that I was going to say about college is that when you get out of college, and you just got out of college, we can do a whole episode on this.
Dude, I still think of time in semesters.
Dude, how different is it now that you're out of college? Just as soon as you're graduated, what is life like now as opposed to college 6 months ago?
I mean, to be fair, I'm not entirely sure yet because COVID kind of ruined that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I actually never even had my graduation.
That's a shame.
That's depressing.
Very sad.
So, like, I saw my name read on, like, a little video, and that was it.
Oh, God, that's depressing.
But life is a lot different already. I guess we'll kind of go into my answer on this one. Are you
No, yeah, you're good.
You're
good. Go for it.
Okay, because it kind of goes with it. So, where do you see yourself in 2 to 5 years? To kind of go with all of that, I'm be completely honest. This year has felt like 2 to 5 years. In a lot of ways. This year has felt like, I swear, like 2 years or 3 years in one for me. I can't tell you how many times I have thought, if seriously, guys and gals who are listening to this, like if you think, oh yeah, a year from now, I probably see my life doing that. I swear it changes. It changes so fast. I remember being a freshman in college. Okay, so get this. 4 years ago, I guess I was a freshman in college, basically, 3 to 4 years ago. And at that point in time, I had never met you or any of the other YouTuber guys that we're friends with.
That's true.
Ever. I've never met them at that point. That's freshman of college or freshman year of college. Nor have I, and that same year was the first year I ever visited LA with the whole Chronicle stuff. So that year changed my life significantly, and like I never thought that would happen, going and visiting LA as a freshman. Little did I know as a freshman, 4 years later, 3 or 4 years later, I would be graduated and living in LA as my first thing post-graduation. That is insane to me.
Yeah.
I just to give some context to this year, and this kind of goes with it, again, sorry if this is long-winded, but I guess we are on a podcast, right? But the thing that I was thinking about earlier this year, so last December, I guess around like a year ago, but yeah, December of last year, my 2 to 3 year plan was I was going to essentially live in Austin, Texas for like 2 to 3 years and be a streamer / content creator entirely. That was all that was going to be, and just work from home, streamer / content creator, and live near Noah, my friend Noah J456, amazing guy, and just do that for like 2 or 3 years and just see how it goes. That was my like 2 or 3 year plan. During living there in Austin, Texas for like 6 months, I was also applying for like gaming industry jobs because that's like stuff that I really wanted to do. I want to like my dream, like the thing that I really want to do, like you is like you want to have a Netflix show so freaking bad. Like I know how like much you'd kill for something like that. For me, the thing that I really, really wanted to do for the longest time is work on a creative team to produce a game that has an awesome community, because that's like kind of like the ABCs of, again, like we're taking the QA questions here in this episode, but I love like interacting with the community. And I've always wanted to be like, yo, we're going to make a community on a game, and we're going to make that fun, and we're going to make just this awesome thing for everybody to enjoy, and I want to interact with that community. And if I could be a part of like leading that, that would be absolutely insane. And essentially, and again, I can't go super in detail with this, but the reason why I'm here in LA right now, and the reason why we're able to do this podcast, I'm so glad we're able to do this. The reason why I moved from Austin is because I was able to land a game development job here in LA. Can't say what that is yet. We'll be able to say at some point, and that podcast episode will be very interesting.
Yes, it will.
But basically, I never thought I would be here in just this year's time. Literally, at the beginning of this year, I was like, oh yeah, I'm living in Texas for 2 or 3 years. And
next thing you know.
Next thing I knew, I'm living here in LA. That's wild for me as somebody who's from Alabama. We could do a whole podcast about that too. Yeah. But that's happening. I'm living near you now. We're doing a podcast now. Streaming still. I still want to stream. I still want to keep my stuff going. But I'm also working on a really cool project. And
so would you say that project is your 2 to 5 year?
I don't want to say. I don't know if I can put like a time on anything, because I don't want to like talk too much about what it is. But I see myself 2 to 5 years from now being. I honestly, my goal, I would love to do something chill like this. That's super, like we could just riff and talk on a podcast or something. And I'd love this to be like my chill, like I'm gonna record this on the weekend and have a good time doing that. And for like my main job, I would love if it's working in the gaming industry. Gaming industry probably more than the like entertainment industry. It's still entertainment, but I think gaming specifically for me, because I love gaming so much. Again, this podcast is not only gaming, but that's what I see myself doing though. In terms of my main job that I'm doing, I see myself, I want to be like somewhere on a creative team, like just building a community. And like basically right now I have the opportunity to do it. It's, will I F it up or not?
You won't.
That's the
you're gonna be great at it.
Yeah. But that's why.
So you've already set that path of where you want to go to.
Right now, it seems that's pretty likely of what my path will be, as long as I just work hard and am able to do it.
That is impressive. Because
Dude, I don't know. Knowing everything that's happened though, a year from now, it's probably gonna be something else though.
That's
to be
just
honest,
it.
like
I
who
mean,
knows?
that to your point about like 4 years ago, you'd never see yourself here. Even not
Right.
not even a year ago, you saw yourself here. Things change quick.
Yes.
Opportunities come up quick. The difference between someone who succeeds and doesn't is someone who's willing to take the opportunity when they see it and work really hard at it. And you're doing that. I mean,
Thank you. I appreciate
moving to LA right out of college, not at all to your plan. Like that's a scary thing, especially when you don't know anyone. You only knew me. Like most people would be like, hell no. I can't. I'm not going to move across the country to this really this place this is a dog eat dog world out here. I'm going to be honest with you. It's expensive.
Oh my God.
And you don't know anyone. Like that's a really big deal.
God, is it expensive?
It is wildly expensive.
Yeah.
And you're doing it. So I commend you for that. And I think you honestly, you're going to be an inspiration to a lot of people that watch this that are in college or that are like thinking about what to do after college. Even a lot of my friends that are a little younger. I'm telling you, when you get out of college, man, it is a different ball game. You don't have the systematic, I'm a junior and this year I have these classes and I'm doing this outside of school. When people ask you what you're doing or you mentally ask yourself what you're doing, you know that. I'm in college. That's your easy answer and you're going to do your best at it. When you get out of college, what are you doing becomes a way harder question to answer. Yeah. Am I going to try to be a streamer? Am I going to do my own thing? Am I going to try to find a job?
That's the thing I was saying with this.
Like what I'm doing? Is it what I want to do long term? Am I going to take the next step to get to where I want to be long term? Like these are so many questions that I think become really, really tough to think about on a day-to-day basis.
I don't think you can even narrow it down like you're saying to one thing. Like before, maybe years when I was in college, it's like, I want my job to be this, right? But when I think about 2 to 5 years from now, what I would love is like a mix of all of it. You know, it's like tell me I have too many ideas. I know,
bruh. This is why I have so many ideas because. But you have to try it. You have to try and find out what you like and find the best balance and mix of those things.
I think it'd be like I've always wanted to do a podcast because I think that would be super. Not only a little bit more professional, but also laid back at the same time. Yeah, it's like it's more professional than just like I don't know. To me, it's more professional than like me playing Call of Duty or something and streaming that on my Twitch channel. Just in terms of my stuff professionally, I think this is more professional. But it's also like I want to have like a combination of things now. It's like before it was like when I was in high school, it's like I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a streamer, a YouTuber. Then it was like, I want to get into the gaming industry. Now it's like, can I do both? Is it possible to do both? Like, and also, can I do a podcast? And also, can I hang out with friends? And also,
it's a lot of
can
ideas.
I have a good relationship? Like what?
Dude, that's life though.
Dude,
like,
it turns into when you graduate college. I swear it turns into like it does happen a little bit in college where you have more things going on. But like you're saying, once you're out of it, it's like, what are you up to? Well, geez, I'm doing this, and this, and I want to do more.
Yeah, but see, that's the difference between a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have this, and this. They might have one thing they're trying to do, and it's right now it's very hard to do, like to get a job in certain areas.
Yeah, true.
But that's what I'm saying. I think like you're doing phenomenal out of college.
I don't think
maybe you don't, but I'm telling you, like
some people struggle. I'm still terrified out of my mind.
Some people really struggle because it's hard to start, especially depending on what your job and what your career path is. Like, it's hard to start anything. It really is.
Dude, this is the deepest first episode.
Maybe we should wrap it up. I feel like it's definitely been it has to have been an hour. I think it went great. I'm so ready to talk about these other topics. I mean,
so 2 to 5 years. Will the podcast be still going?
Let's take a poll. Is it going to be going 2 to 5 years? If yes, I think it's done well. If no,
let's just say a year.
Okay,
let's just say a year.
So what's today? The 17th?
The 17th of
October.
Yeah.
It won't come out. It won't come out on the 17th of October. Right. Whatever day it comes out.
Right. But let's poll the audience really quickly. Do you think this will the thing is, I think the answer is going to be like, no, it's not going to last. but that might be a motivator, to be honest.
I don't care what the answer is.
Wow.
I love this so far.
Dude, he just said it.
We haven't even have a guest on yet.
I know.
Can
It's
you
really, really
imagine?
cool we have a guest.
Oh man,
That's going to be sick.
we're gonna have to like limit ourselves.
Yeah.
I thought this would be like a 20, 30-minute episode, and here
No.
we are over an hour. So
Have you met me, dude?
this is why it's gonna be great, dude. It's gonna be great.
I think the biggest thing too is there's a couple things we want to do. So we're sort of on the wrapping up part here, but I appreciate all the questions, guys. Like seriously, we really
great
appreciate
questions.
it. The thing that I was gonna say is we have some ideas of how to improve already the set, how to improve maybe camera changes.
Some more angles.
Potentially there could be more angles that could happen, so it's not just one static shot. It could be maybe some close-ups on either side, depending on who's talking, stuff like that. I would love to get a shelf here of like different things. I think it'd be cool at some point to do like people can send in something.
I love it.
You know, things like that. Like I want something that feels really chill, relaxed, but also like, yeah, we put some thought into it kind of thing. And I guess just since this is the end of the first episode of Irrelevant, I don't know if this was irrelevant or relevant, whatever it was of what we talked about. I feel like it's pretty relevant this time.
It's relevant to the people that ask the questions.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
it definitely was. But I would say always feel free. Never feel like, disencouraged or anything to not say or to not give like a topic idea, even if it's super crazy or far out there. Like guys, if
nothing's off limits.
If you have any sort of topic, it doesn't have to be games. We actually really would love to do more things beyond games because our roots a lot are in games, but we would really love to talk about something that's happening in the world that
quite
isn't
literally anything.
Yeah, quite literally anything. It sounds crazy, but genuinely, if you guys have any sort of topic idea, like I really want to know what they think about this, or hey, maybe it's even it could be even a video or something. Like there's some viral video that's happening, and what are your thoughts on it? You know, like anything like that, we would love to tackle, and that's just sort of like how we're gonna go about this whole podcast process. Is just talking about what you guys kind of want us to talk about, and also we're gonna bring our own things to the table too once we get more into it. But I think safe to say this has been pretty fun.
Absolutely.
Fun first episode.
I'm thrilled.
Sorry,
I hope you guys
talking your ear off.
You're good, dude. Hey, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, it's
we're
very
here
true.
to talk.
Very true.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are listening on Apple Music or Spotify, thank you for tuning in to the radio show we got.
It's a radio. Wow,
kidding.
it actually
Totally.
did come in handy.
I mean, we're trying here. We're gonna. Just stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel right now. We're gonna be posting all the new videos here on this channel.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on not the main channel, on one of our channels, be sure to go and actually check out the actual podcast channel. I think that's the plan right now.
Yeah,
is to
the plan
put
is
that on
future episodes will all be on the main channel, the Irrelevant channel.
Yeah.
So definitely subscribe if you guys want to see these in the future. And I think that's it. I mean, unless you got anything else.
Yeah, just if you have anything you guys want to send in, always just add us on Twitter. Twitter's a great place.
People set up a
honestly.
PO box and have like a thing where they can send in stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like
Oh,
questions
questions,
too.
yeah.
Just questions, any topic ideas, like anything you guys want, like feel free to ping us on Twitter. Again, we're irrelevant. We're not gonna miss it, to be honest. We're probably gonna see most of the things you ask.
We'll definitely see all of them. Or leave a comment down below on the YouTube video.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys all next week.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Take care. That was fucking great.
That was good.